Bonjour!
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Dear friends, we are so fortunate today. We have a legend, a living legend, a cult writer, a phenomenal leader in the food community, vegan, over 30 years, and a founder of one of the most amazing, phenomenal cheese crèmerie in the world, which is not crèmerie because
Well, you could debate that.
plant-based, and we're going to be presenting to you something that you haven't seen in a long time, and something that is a huge breakthrough, specifically as a Frenchman who loves cheese in a traditional way, a new take on how you enjoy cheese and how you can digest cheese and how you can enjoy cheese at large. So, Miyoko, welcome to the world of Oakville Grocery,
Well,
JCB.
thank you so much for having me here, Jean-Charles. I'm so excited to be here. Whoa! Oh my gosh. Well, I guess it's never too early to pop the cork, is it?
Absolutely, this is yours.
Okay, this is mine.
Look at
What-
that.
Look at those bubbles. Yes.
It's a great privilege to have you.
Well, it's a great honor to be here with you.
The Japanese-French alliance. Look at this on American soil. Isn't it cool?
Where the world comes together.
That's
right here
it.
at Oakville Grocers.
That's it.
Okay.
So,
Oh, kampai.
kampai. This is, so what does it make you feel?
Oh, this makes me feel like it's a little early in the morning, but I did have a matcha latte just now, so I'm fortified and I can now indulge in this.
We can indulge. So, we should dive in right into the world that you've created.
Okay.
So how did it start and how did you move into the idea of cheese?
Oh, well, you know, I used to be a huge cheesophile and I couldn't imagine life without cheese. For me, I went through Europe for 6 months when I was 20, and my goal in Europe was to taste every variety of cheese possible. I went to every cheesemonger and tried hundreds and hundreds of cheeses. And when I became vegan in my mid-20s and I had to give it up, oh my gosh, it was almost like suicide. And so I spent the next 30 years trying to figure out how can I make cheese out of plant milk instead of cow's milk. And Miyoko's Creamery was born about 8 years ago. So we have a variety of cheeses. Today I'm going to make you 2 sandwiches and a pizza
Woo.
using our cheeses.
But that's amazing. So you decide to become plant-based.
Yes.
And you decide to dive into it as an entrepreneur and create your own business around that. How difficult was that?
Well, you know, I think you make a lot of mistakes when you have a business.
Yes.
It takes a long time. So I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years, and I have had restaurants and other natural food companies, written cookbooks, did a series on PBS,
That's
a
right.
vegan cooking show, and I've fallen down many times, making many mistakes. I'm sure you may have been a success from the get-go.
Oh, I
don't know,
wish.
But I think
The first
Yes.
failure was to be born sometimes, you could say.
well, they do say that sometimes, but I think our goal is to figure out how to
Sure.
enrich our lives as we progress. So it took me a long time to figure out how to do this, but it's been a passion of mine to figure out how to make cheeses that are worthy of being on a cheese plate. And the way I think about it is there's cow's milk cheese, there's goat's milk cheese, there's sheep's milk cheese, and we now have plant milk cheese, which is a little bit different from cow's milk and sheep's milk and goat's milk. It's its own thing, but it's recognizable as cheese and it's just as delicious. And this is the future of cheese, in my opinion.
That's a big statement. And I know many friends on the other side of the world, including in Japan and many other countries, who would say, "Did you really say that?"
Well, actually, you wouldn't believe the movement right now in
Sure.
France, and you know, Bell brands of Baby Bell and Boursin, they now have a plant-based
That's
line.
right.
And so cheese companies all over the world are now reinventing themselves.
And why
in
are
this
we
way.
reinventing ourselves to this magnitude?
Well, we live in a world that is unfortunately suffering from climate change. And food is a huge part of that.
Yes.
And animal agriculture is one of the leading causes of climate change. Our products are up to 98% lower in greenhouse gas emissions. So if you can make a product that's lower in greenhouse gas emissions, uses less
For sure.
land, and doesn't cause suffering to animals, and it's still delicious. Why wouldn't you enjoy that?
So when you used to a certain taste from a cow, from a goat, and or sheep, and you have to evolve into this new world, how do you succeed from one taste to the other to really become acquainted and in love with it?
Okay, well, there's something that all of those cheeses have in common, which is fermentation. They all use microbes, bacteria, yeast, and molds to transform
Yes.
the milk into something that's got a lower pH, has a little bit of tang, and we've applied that same artisanal, 1,000-year-old technology to our cheeses.
That's
And that's
right.
really what it is. And that's why people can eat our cheeses and they recognize it as cheese. Perhaps it's a slightly different experience, but they know that it has a cheesy flavor, and it's all from natural fermentation.
So from that fermentation idea, explain us why Miyoko's creamery, as an example, digestion may be easier as well from a plant-based than a traditional milk.
Yes. Well,
'Cause that's a big deal for all of us.
Oh, it is, especially when you get older. Because if you think about it, we're the only species that drinks the milk of another species. And we're also the only species that continues to drink milk beyond infancy. That is, it's not like human beings are biologically so radically different from all the other species in the world. We
Well
aren't.
said.
And so we are actually allergic. 80% of the human population is allergic to lactose because we don't need to, because we're not designed to consume it. So we can make products that don't have lactose.
Yes,
And we can have the same enjoyment, then it's a win-win.
that's right.
And you know, as we get older, especially, I mean, I hear about this from people that are in their 50s and 60s all the time, how they love cheese growing up, but today they can no longer tolerate it.
That's it.
And so we have an offering.
So
that-
you have an offering where you could still enjoy it, the taste, the flavor, and you don't have the after effect.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And we have a variety of products. We have sort of spreadable things. We have three types of mozzarella. We're going to be using these two for the sandwiches today.
Yes.
We have the revolutionary new liquid vegan mozzarella.
So
which,
this is so cool.
yes,
Here
we're
she
going to
is.
pour that on pizza. Yeah.
Woo!
And then we have a variety of cheese wheels that you had before that
Yes.
we're going to show you later that can go on your cheese platter. And we're constantly evolving and innovating new items from different ingredients. So the important thing is that all of our products are made from milk,
Yes.
made from plants. They're not oil and starch. It's not genetically modified. It's not made in a test tube or a lab, you know, out of cells from animals or anything like that. They're very, very natural products, all organic, very few ingredients, just like cow's milk products. And that's what we've tried to do. These are made out of cashews, but we have new ingredients that we're experimenting with that are very high in protein that basically approach animal cheese in
Yes.
nutrient value.
And which is amazing, and I'm so admirative of what you've built, is the organic factor of it. So all organic certified,
Yes,
and that's very important to you.
it's very important. I think it should be important to the entire world because we are destroying the planet with pesticides and unsustainable practices.
That's right. And how much of a movement you started to create behind you now as you the leader within this category?
It's growing all over, especially in wine country. We have a movement called Wine Country 2.0, where we go to restaurants and wineries and we tell them about the impact of food choices on the environment, and we encourage them to offer more vegan options, and of course, you know, use our products so that they don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you're making a lasagna and you're trying to figure out how to make a vegan lasagna, we'll just substitute our mozzarella for dairy mozzarella and voila.
And
I used a
voila.
French word. There we go.
Arigato
And you have it.
gozaimasu.
That's about the extent of my French, so
And
pardonnez-moi.
you know what is so impressive as well for all of you, dear friends and ladies, being with us today, to see a phenomenal lady entrepreneur in the world of cheese. You're not that many phenomenal women like you who took you know.
Especially Japanese. It's because cheese isn't eaten in Japan, so.
That's right.
Yeah.
Although in the French restaurant of Japan, we could find some.
Oh my gosh. You know there
Yes.
are more Michelin-starred restaurants in Tokyo than in all of France?
That's right.
Yes, it is a gastronomic paradise.
For
the
sure.
Japanese adopt anything that's fantastic, and then they import it, and then they make it better.
Yeah, for sure.
To that, kampai.
Kampai. So, what shall we start to show our friends to
Okay.
do?
Okay, I'm
Because I
gonna-
know
I'm gonna-
everybody's very curious to see how that unpacks.
All right,
and-
so you can eat these by themselves, but I'm going to make two sandwiches, two different kinds of sandwiches that are completely different. And then we're going to put them on the grill, and then we're
Yes.
going to eat them. So the first sandwich I'm going to make uses our wood smoked mozzarella. And it's also going to use caramelized onions, tapenade from Oakville Grocers, and arugula, if I can open this.
Yeah, maybe I could do something.
Yeah, right
here.
there. Maybe
Yes.
if you can get.
So you really have created this artisan vegan category. How difficult was that at first to get everybody to understand this artisan vegan approach?
Not hard at all, as long as you make delicious food and you invite people to your table. And that's really all it takes, is getting
Yeah.
people to indulge in the best food possible. And if you think about it,
Here we
2/3
go.
of the world, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna get,
Well, I have to be useful.
you are very useful.
Not really.
Oh, just
but, you know.
your charm alone is
Thank
very,
you.
very useful. So as you can see, this was smoked. This isn't
Gorgeous.
smoked flavor. This was actually really smoked. So we take great pride in the
If we want
artisanal
to put it
nature.
here, if you wish.
Okay, we take great pride in the artisanal nature of our product. So what I'm gonna do is make the sandwich with our smoked mozzarella. With these are big pieces of bread. So I'm gonna put nice thick layers of
It's
cheese.
about to be quite the lunch.
It is going to be a
Shall I
delicious
try
lunch.
just pure to see?
Yes,
a tiny
it's
piece?
very, very smoky. So I hope you like that. Go
I'm
ahead and
sure I
try
will.
that.
So, you know, as a typical wine person, beautiful bouquet, great smoking. So, how do you smoke it?
Well, in a smoker, we have a giant smoker that's like a huge, I don't know, like an oven or something. Now I'm going to take some of your tapenade. This
Yeah.
is the black olive tapenade from Oakville Grocer, and I'm going to put it on top of this smoked mozzarella.
Where
just
do you
smear it.
see, as you doing this beautiful sandwich for us, the movement of organic now in the US? Do you feel, as Europeans and Japanese, it's been, you know, established for many, many years, and
Yes.
it's been growing very fast? Are we seeing that in the US now too?
It's not growing as fast as you would hope, which is really, really sad. And the organic movement almost started out here in this neck of the woods in Marin and Sonoma and Napa 40 years ago. And in
Yeah.
fact, Prince Charles came out here many years ago because we were so advanced in our organic farming techniques. And yet, there's been very, very slow adoption by Americans. And we have to change the culture of how we approach food here in the United
Yes.
States. Instead of being so fast food and processed about everything, we have to get people to understand real food made with as simple ingredients as possible, prepared in your home, which is what I'm showing you right now, how quickly you can assemble a gastronomic delight. These are caramelized onions that I'm putting on top
Beautiful.
of the sandwich here. And if you wouldn't mind, would you place these on
Of
the grill
course, of
and while
course.
we, and this one too.
This one as
Yep.
well.
And then we're gonna start with the
Voila.
other sandwich. Okay. He's gonna put those on the grill, and now we're gonna make the other sandwich. It's just gonna take a few minutes. We don't need to melt the cheese entirely. Now this is a Roadhouse Cheddar. This is like a pub cheese, so to speak. So it's like a cheddar spread, and it's great with
Very
pretzels and
nice.
things. I'm gonna put some on both sides of this bread. I'm gonna make two sandwiches here.
Beautiful.
So this is easily spreadable. This is, you know, something you'd have for the Super Bowl, or you can also have it as a snack. And this one is interesting because we're going to put apples on it. And apples will add a little bit of sweetness.
Very delicate, huh? So you conceived every recipe.
So far, yes. We do have food scientists now also working on new recipes, but to date I have made these are all my
So how many
creations.
different cheeses have you created?
Well, many, but we have about 20 that we do sell right now, but I've created many more. Let me just top these with just sauteed leeks.
And we have most of them at the Oakville Grocery, of
Yes.
course, which we delighted, honored, and thrilled. And we propose as well a plant-based vegan cheese plate.
I love it. I love it.
People are really getting excited about
All right,
that.
we're going
as
to put
well.
these on the grill as well.
Perfect. All right. Look at this. I made it on the grill today.
Okay. All right, let's go check those out and see.
So how do you manage all your animal commitment to all the things you do?
Okay. All right. So I also have a farm to animal sanctuary, a 501c3 nonprofit. We rescue farmed animals like cows and goats and pigs and sheep and donkeys and waterfowl and chickens and turkeys and so on. And we have employees. We have volunteers. So in the very beginning, when I started it about 6 years ago, I was down there at 5:30 every morning shoveling
Yeah.
manure and waking up the animals. But luckily, I don't have to do that anymore.
But that's amazing. And why did
And
you
I always dress like this, by the way, when I do that.
Chanel perfect. So how did you and why did you start that?
Well, it just happened by happenstance. I
Yeah.
moved out to the country, and these two goats showed up. Somebody said, "We don't have a home for these goats. Can you take them?" And then somebody else called me and asked me to take 3 little pigs, and it just went on from there. So
I know it starts with a few, and
Yes.
now how many do you have?
we have about 100.
Wow, pretty exciting.
Okay, those are probably about ready. So we're just gonna do the final touch. I have a bowl of arugula,
Yes.
and I'm gonna season it with a little bit of olive oil.
Very nice.
Also from Oakville Grocers,
Yeah.
very high quality. And I have some lovely barrel-aged balsamic vinegar also from Oakville Grocer.
Yeah, that we make.
And that
with
you
a lot
make.
of love and passion.
A little bit of salt. And I'm just going to toss this, and this is going to go on top of the sandwiches. So you want a generous amount of arugula to add that freshness.
Sure. And
Okay.
it's still, as I'm looking, but you know what I'm going to do
Let's
is
go
I'm going to
grab
get
those.
another glass of wine for
Are you? Okay.
Because
Well,
Bubbles
you
is
do
great,
that.
but now we need to. I'm so excited she took over the grill. Much of a better idea because JC behind the grill is certainly far away from his expertise. So now we're going to try, Miyoko, a French wine.
Oh boy.
We're going to go
I'm
Côte d'Ivoire organic.
You can't drink without me now.
No, never. I would
right.
never fathom.
Is this what we're having?
Yes, Côte
Ooh.
d'Ivoire organic
And look at these fancy
Wine.
glasses. Oh boy.
for you.
Whew, I
As
love
we
that
picnicking
sound. There
or
we go.
grilling, we have to still
We do,
maintain
don't
the
we?
crystal.
We absolutely do. Lovely. Lovely Côte d'Ivoire.
Miyoko, tell us as well about all the phenomenal books that you've written, because you're an author, extremely prolific author.
Well, my very first book was over 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I was trying to prove that vegan foods weren't hippy dippy,
Yeah.
granola, chunky, or whatever it is. And so I wrote my very first book, and I had a recipe in there that was one of my favorites, which was a tofu bourguignon. Now, don't laugh.
I think it's so cool. I'm a big fan of tofu,
Yeah.
and it's a great idea.
Yeah, but
So
anyway,
you
I-
reduced it with a wine sauce?
Yes, with a wine sauce that cooked for hours, and
Yeah.
I learned most of my cooking techniques from. I had a apprentice under a French chef when I was in college, and then I worked my way through mastering the art of French cooking
Wow.
and some of the cordon bleu recipes. And then I applied, because I was a vegetarian and had gone vegan, I tried to figure out how do I substitute things that have umami for the beef. And so I learned, because I lived in Japan, that I could use ingredients such as miso and soy sauce
Yes.
to add umami when the meat had been taken out. And so I was able to create demi-glace sauces and things like that
Wow.
with a lot of umami and depth of flavor.
So explain
And red wine, of
your
course.
definition of the word umami, which is my favorite Japanese word
Yes,
in many ways.
which nobody knew, but umami is really just about, they call it the sixth sense, but it really is about the depth of flavor in something, something that's deep, that's profound, that has lasting power and grows in your mouth.
Yes.
Okay.
Lasting power that grows in your mouth.
Yes. Okay.
Sounds like a French kiss, but
Ooh,
you know,
ooh la la.
we'll,
Okay.
we'll try the food still.
We'll try the food still.
Look
All right.
at this amazing.
All right,
We should make it at the Oakville Grocery and have it carried your name. It should be the
There we go. There's
Miyoko sandwich.
Okay, that's one sandwich, and then we're gonna finish the other one off too. Let me bring it right up here.
And what's your other favorite book that you've written that to you had the most impact and influence
I think
on who we are and what we eat?
The one that I think has had the most influence is the Homemade Vegan Pantry. And it really speaks to people that want to stop buying packaged foods, want to be
Yes.
able to make everything from scratch at home. So there's recipes for everything from cake mix and pancake mix to your own vegan meats, to how to make tofu, to various sauces and mayonnaise and whatever it is.
Yes.
You can make it from at home without having to, buy things in, packaged products like we make. But the issue,
Yeah, but that's the exception.
Yes,
because that's so
absolutely.
unique. You
Yes,
have to buy it as
yes,
such.
yes.
But that's
Okay.
very important because how much do you as well in your diet and in your recommendation push eating local and the season?
Oh,
If you
absolutely.
could please touch on that because it's so important that we're trying to have strawberries at the wrong season, tomatoes at the wrong season, which are flavorless.
Well, yes. I mean, I don't think anybody in Italy or France or some of these countries that really have great honor and respect for real food
Yes.
eat vegetables and fruits out of season. It makes no sense whatsoever. It just kills me when I go somewhere and they're serving melon in the winter.
Explain why eating the season is so important for your body as well as a defense mechanism, that the world is so well designed that we're meant to eat
We are.
the season to build the anti everything
I think-
to fight against
Yeah,
everything else.
absolutely right. I think nature knows what's good for us. And so nature has grown certain produce at
Yes.
certain seasons in certain regions because it feeds us.
That's
And there's a
right.
reason for that. And when we try to break those rules and eat whatever we want, whenever we want, then we suffer the repercussions.
That's right. So eat local, eat from the season, and let the season guide you into your diet. It's so fun.
It really is.
And
yes.
every week or every month, you can have something different.
Isn't that fun? Okay, I got to go grab those other sandwiches before they burn to a crisp. So give me a
Yes.
second.
You see, I was already forgetting, obviously, the food. I was taken by Miyoko, great vision of life, because I think as we cook, as we create, we reinvent in many ways who we are. And I think the way the world was created is so perfect that we should be consistently reliable on the rhythm of the world, don't you think?
The rhythm, yes. I got rhythm. There we go.
Why don't you sing a little bit for us? I think it would be a great
Oh,
idea. You know, Miyoko is a very famous jazz singer. This is why the sheriff.
No.
The sheriff is on his way.
The sheriff is on his way. Absolutely not famous whatsoever. But here we
But
are.
tell us how you
I do
started
have-
in that.
Well,
This
I
is
started
so
with
cool.
$5 gigs. That's how it. I was just like everybody else in college, trying to make an extra $50 on a weekend.
Wow.
And so we put together a little jazz band at school, and next thing you knew, we got a little gig at a downtown bar.
So
That was
cool.
kind of it. So I've done my share of $50 gigs. That's all I say.
Well, I have $50 in my pocket. Would you do a little gig for us? Maybe I'll
Oh, you
double
are
it.
funny.
I have 50 in each pocket, so maybe for 100.
All right. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do I? It don't mean a thing. All you got to do is sing. Do I? What? Okay, there we go.
Well, this is great. This is, do you sing when you cook?
All the time. Yeah, I mean, not just in the shower, but when
Yeah.
I'm in front of the stove slaving away as well.
and singing. Have you actually created a song around Miyoko's Creamery
Oh,
and
God.
cheese? I think that would be the next one.
Oh my God. Have you tried our cheese? I don't know.
I love your cheese. J'aime, j'aime, j'aime. Well, it's looking really
All right,
beautiful.
I've got two
by the way.
sandwiches here. Two different sandwiches that I would love to have you try. And they're both radically different. This one's smoky and intense. This one's a little lighter and sweet with a hint of apple.
So where
And then
shall
we're-
we start?
Well, let's start with that.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, did you
After
take
you.
pictures?
Do-
Or no, we can make. Oh, and should I make the pizza
do
first
you want
too?
to bite first? I'm giving Miyoko the bite. That's quite the picture. It looks amazing. I know everybody.
Now, it doesn't taste vegan, does it?
No. Not at all.
Okay.
In fact, right?
Thank you. So,
So how would you describe
you know,
you're the food expert?
I love the combination of the smoky cheese with the slight tang of the tapenade, and then the sweetness that comes through with the caramelized onions.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, you got the freshness of the arugula thrown in there.
And then with the Côte du Rhône.
Oh my gosh, it couldn't be better.
Well, it's fun to try Côte du Rhône Blanc because most of us know the Côte du Rhône Rouge, which is really what you find in many brasseries. It's rarer to do white, and I think with the tapenade, it's typically what we do in France. Côte du
So
Rhône
they're all
white,
white? Okay.
tapenade, and this is very south of France,
Is-
I feel.
Well, it's time for you to try the next sandwich. I call this all roadhouses lead to the Big Apple.
Well, this is amazing. So that's the one with the apple in
That's
it.
got the apple and leeks in it. So it's very different. It's got a brighter cheddary flavor that's complemented very nicely, I think, with the apple.
Outstanding.
Which one do you like? Do you like them both? Okay. Well, then let's move on to the next thing, which is
I love them both. And why having to choose in life when you can actually have
you
them
can have both. And then maybe you could offer, half of each.
I think it's a great idea.
All right. So
People love today diversity.
they do.
Small plates.
Yes.
Where do you see the evolution of food in general and cooking in terms of how people are consuming food these days?
Well, if you look at the trends, plant-based
Yeah.
is actually the fastest growing. And now 40% of Americans now say that they're trying to reduce the amount of animal products in their diet and they're becoming flexitarian. So I really do feel that's the answer. But what we have to pay attention to is we don't want to just eat vegan junk food.
Yes.
We still want to bring real food to the table. And I really believe that real food like this or what people eat in France or Italy or places like that, that's what brings people to the table. You don't eat burgers and French fries and have a party that way.
That's right.
We have to make food with artistry and craft and care and beauty and love. And this is the single most important thing, is to really put that love into your food and then invite everyone to the table.
And build a story around
Yes.
it. I think we just don't invite people at home without a storytelling
Yes.
process, whether it's through the wine, the food, the conversations. So this is each time when you receive people, you think about the storytelling of certain plants or the seasons or the flavors you want to try to communicate.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm also a favor of serving course dinners.
Yes.
So you can really concentrate on each course rather than, a mishmash. And you know how Americans do it? They put everything on one plate
Cannot
and it's just
stand it.
piled up and everything
Cannot
is running with
stand
each
it.
other and you can't taste anything and you have no idea what you're eating. It's so much better if you can just concentrate on each course as it is and speak to it and allow yourself the time to understand it and to
Yes.
become one with it.
And we love that because each course we can present a different wine or two.
Absolutely.
And the storytelling of the two. How much wine is part of your diet?
Well, I don't know if I want to reveal that.
Because you have a great palate. You love wine.
I do love wine, yes. Maybe a little too much.
Well, it's never enough. So look at
Okay.
this beautiful.
All right.
Ooh.
So I do need a spoon so I can
Yes.
spoon this out. I don't think I
Alright.
have one. Oh, I can use a fork.
Maybe we could use
All
a
right.
fork.
All right, so I'm going to tell everyone a secret, and I know you guys know this secret, but people always talk about what's the best pizza sauce. Well,
Yes.
here's what they use in Italy. They just use a can of San Marzano tomatoes, which is what you use here as well. And you just literally open up a can of the puree like this, and you add a little salt to it. You can add olive oil, you can add garlic, but you don't have to. You could add a little oregano as well. But just salt and a little can like this, stirred, is really all you need. This is very, very Italian to serve this. And you put the,
Yeah. I'm excited with that. This is going to be my first pizza with your wonderful Miyoko's creamery cheese. So
all right, so we're gonna try this.
I'm excited because this is a revolution.
This is a revolution. So we actually call it revolutionary liquid vegan pizza mozzarella. And this is made out of cashew milk that's been fermented. So there's no flavors or anything in it. You can, all you have to do is pour it. You pour it and bake it. It looks awfully strange. It's a very novel concept. There we go. So we're gonna now just,
Maybe we'll do that so everybody
Yeah, we'll-
can visualize.
we'll move
Look
it
at
over here.
How cool. And that was quite easy
that
so
is
far.
very easy. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little olive oil and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna pop it in the oven.
I'm very impressed, by the way, with the sandwiches because you still feel lightness,
Yes.
flavor. You don't, there's nothing worse after a sandwich where there's so much in it
Yes.
that
You don't know what you're eating.
and there's too many flavors.
Yes.
and too much volume.
Okay, I'm not the best at getting this off the
Well, hopefully I can.
hopefully, are you good?
No.
Okay, well, all right. Well, that
Not at
makes
all.
two of us. Ah,
She
there we
did
go.
it! Yes! Look at that.
All right, so we'll
All in the
let
wrist.
that cook. It's all in the wrist. I'm not quite good. I'm not really good. I mean, I've seen guys. They normally end up ending elongated because I can't get it off the peel well. All right, we're gonna let that cook.
Beautiful.
Yeah, all right. We've got a real Italian here from Napoli,
This is the dream.
The-
So,
the birthplace of pizza.
birthplace of pizza.
In fact,
so,
in Napoli, they don't consider pizza outside of Napoli to be real pizza. È vero?
È verissimo.
Sì, verissimo.
so what are we making here then?
Pizza napoletana.
Ah,
Sì, ovviamente. Pizza napoletana.
Napolitana. So,
Okay.
Miyoko, you got amazing,
Yeah.
incredible awards. Two, we should highlight
Okay.
the fabulous recognition at the United Nations.
I love how you flatter me, by the way.
No, but this is so exciting. A lady entrepreneur creating an enormous success, a new trend, a new vision of plant-based cheese of all things. I mean, can you believe the trend you're setting? And as well, Forbes 50 over 50, top 50 entrepreneurs over 50. So we commend you for those.
Thank you.
Tell us about those two significant awards and how it changes your life.
Well, I don't know how it happened, but I ended up on the Forbes 50 over 50 list with illuminaries like Kamala Harris and Ariana Huffington. I have no idea how that happened, but it did.
Well, you fully deserve it.
So, and then I've been named a vegan revolutionary by the United
Yeah.
Nations. I didn't know they had that category either, but I found out one day.
So we are together. We got to have a toast.
All right.
Toast. Chin chin.
Ching ching.
It's hot.
Ching ching.
huh? Coming out of the oven.
Sì. Come pensi?
Buona.
Buona. Okay. Well, the true
È buona.
the true Italian
Buona questa
Napo-
mozzarella.
Okay.
Sì.
La mozzarella viene da Napoli, quindi conosco la mozzarella.
Okay. He knows. He says he knows mozzarella, and he thinks that this is mozzarella.
So this is why we need to give a glass of
All
wine
right.
to Mimo because
That's right. Mimo deserves a glass
I was
of wine.
worried for a
He,
second.
he
What
des-
is he gonna
he
say?
deserves a
I
glass
was
of
worried
wine.
too.
You can never control an Italian on camera.
Why would anyone try?
Well, Mimo, try with the wine. Vino francese, pizza napolitana.
napolitana.
Pizza napoletana. You know, guys, the vino. In Italia, when the Americani brought the birra in the Second War, but the wine on the pizza is fantastic.
We
Yeah.
agree. Ooh la
We
la.
agree.
Is
sì.
there anything
Sono
else?
d'accordo. Sì, sono d'accordo.
So,
Salute.
Salute.
salute. So, Miyoko, explain us what you want us to recognize within the pizza, because this is a rivoluzione.
Sì, è vero.
Un francese.
Sì.
Un francese
Un
ha fatto
francese
la
anche, sì.
rivoluzione. È l'unico paese nel mondo che ha fatto
Sì.
la rivoluzione.
Sì.
Rispetto ai
Sì.
francesi.
Well, that's
Our
because we
French talking
trained
about
Gary.
revolutions, you know.
You know, we
know all
trained
about
Garibaldi so he could do in 1865 the unification of Italy. So we are very close to each other.
Uh-oh. Apparently I have cheese and...
No, you're okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
Va bene, okay.
It's important. If you love
Yes, I
cheese, you
know.
gotta have
I
it
love
everywhere.
Cheese and sauce. I mean, there's nothing better than pizza. And in Napoli, people fold their pizza like this, right?
Portafoglio.
See, yeah, they fold it like this because the crust is softer and it's not a hard crust,
No.
as you often find in the United
No,
States. So
not
this
the
is-
big crackers, have to be soft.
Mhm. It's not crispy, it's nice and soft.
Yeah.
This is, for me, la pizza ideale.
Ideale?
Sì. It's the
Perfetto.
ideal pizza.
The consequence of what we choose as a
Yes.
diet and as our food selection impacts, as you say so well, our carbon footprint
Yes.
and everything we do around us.
And people around the world. It impacts everything. It impacts whether or not we cut down the Amazon. It
Yes.
impacts whether or not indigenous species are exterminated. And so we are very, very powerful. And this is what people don't understand is that maybe you can't afford to buy a Tesla or put solar on your house.
That's right.
But you can change how you eat and be just as powerful, in fact, more powerful.
And it's your body.
It is your
Remember,
body. Yes.
this is the most precious element that we have. When our body goes wrong is where we notice we should have been more careful and
Absolutely.
prevent. And I think this is what we do with this wine as an example is organic
Oh, I love this.
and
Yes.
biodynamic. It's called prevention. It's like homeopathy for your body. I've never taken synthetic products. In 50 years that I've been surviving with excess on this planet, I don't use traditional medicine. It's all plant-based medicine. My grandmother, who lived till 104, and my other grandmother till 99, only plants. So this is why we believe so much into what you're doing and how you're doing it. On that note, what keeps inspiring you? You've done so much, from books to TVs to music to singing to businesses to inspiring others. What inspires you still?
Hope. What inspires me every single day is that every day I get up, I know there's something I can do to make the world better. There's something I can do to touch somebody's life, to bring artistry and beauty to others, to invite people to a more compassionate lifestyle, to take care of animals. I don't feel these as burdens. I feel these are an opportunity for me to become better, to discover more about my own journey on this planet, and to inspire others to do the same. If we can all come around a beautiful, compassionate table, enjoying simple, delicious, organic foods like this, we'd all be better. We'd all be in a better place. We'd all enjoy greater happiness.
I think you're here with a mission on this planet, obviously. You believe in that?
I certainly believe in this, yes.
So what's your dream now?
My dream is to entice people to a delicious, compassionate diet for them to discover that they can eat whatever they've eaten, but better by eating vegan, by eating plants, and save animals and fight for the planet. We're all in this together.
You got me convinced, needless
Okay,
to
well,
say,
there
a
you
long time ago. And I'm so excited in all our wineries as well. You have, as we're reopening now, finally, a cheese option which will be plant-based. So it's exciting as well to have within a traditional cheese plate, insert to your guests and your friends Miyoko's cheese so you can see their reaction. And if it's positive, which at 99% I guarantee it will be, you would have someone who is, much more raison d'être to exist because the reason to exist.
Raison d'être.
has
Did I
a
say it
mission.
right?
Very well.
Okay.
She speaks 5 languages, as you heard, Italian. So now, maybe Miyoko, the last message to the world. I think it's important. You have so much wiseness, so much rootedness, if it's an English word. You're so grounded into our wonderful world. What would you say to everyone as we celebrating 2022 and a new world?
Well, as I'm here at Oakville Grocery with you, Jean-Charles, I would say drink good organic wine, eat good organic plant-based foods, save the animals, and save the planet.
What to add? Dear friends, keep being inspired. Wasn't she amazing? Miyoko, arigatou gozaimasu.
どういたしまして、ありがとうございます。
And it's a pleasure, dear friends. We're going to celebrate all month women's entrepreneurship as well. All of you ladies, you could do it. You could have multiple lives, as we've witnessed, from singing to writing to being an entrepreneur to being a thoughtful leader, and we can all do it. So cheers to all of you.
Cheers to all of you.